Ho, ho, ho. December is here, and you're tuned in to Requiem for a Tuesday. This is Adam Pecora. How the hell are you? Took a little post-Thanksgiving break. Just woke up. It's been a week and a half. Slept right through it. A little stuffy, as you may hear. Yesterday, for me, was supposed to be, big watch day. Or Saturday, sorry. It was supposed to be big watch day. Let's catch up. Let's get a nice list going. Let's binge. We'll have plenty to discuss on this week's episode. I'm like, all right, locked in. Let's do this. Unfortunately, during an attempted rewatch of Nope, which I was excited to see again, I was like, all right, let's get into view mode, get my rewatch in, and then we'll dive deep. Nope. Get it? Fell asleep for 7 hours. It was like 3 o'clock. I woke up. It was like 10. And the day was over. Day was ruined. So I watched Nope again at night. And missed the ending because I fell back asleep. So that's where we're at. We can add a bunch of stuff onto my growing list of everything that I'm not caught up with. Atlanta. Still haven't watched the third season. The fourth one's over. To be fair, didn't really like the third season. From what I've seen, it was boring. And, not funny. So, pretty bad combination there. I'll have to give it a shot at some point because I'm going to have to finish it. I know. Better Call Saul. Don't even get me started on that disaster. You can check back on that episode. You can hear me screaming. And, 5 to 10 movies at this point that either will or won't get released on streaming. Tried to watch Knives Out so I could go see Glass Onion with a fresh mind, keep it in the bank, relevant. No, it's not available. They paid $400 million for the rights to do the sequels. I think that's it. Like, that doesn't include budgets or anything, and somehow doesn't include the rights to the first movie. Like, hello, you're trying to promote a sequel to a movie that's in theaters, and people can't watch the original movie? Excuse me? The streaming licensing rights thing is so far out of hand. Because the comparison was made like, oh, now it's just like cable, except it's not like cable. Because on cable, there was always somebody who had what you were looking for. And now shit's just gone. And it's like, oh, here's the thing. I'm not into Yellowstone, but it's like, oh, Yellowstone on Paramount Channel. Paramount, all you hear, Paramount. Watch the new episodes on Paramount Plus. But where do you watch the old episodes? Peacock. Doesn't make any sense. Condense your shit. How is this not turned over yet? How is somebody not fallen off? Like Peacock, I guess I get it. There's a free option. They have a huge catalog. That all makes sense, I guess. But like, I don't know. I guess I just thought there'd be a bunch of mergers by now. WWE was like, look, we can't run a streaming service, which, good. Why should you? Why? That's why everybody's losing money. Stop it. The whole point was that it was supposed to be easy and convenient, and that's why people like streaming. They don't like streaming because they love your brand. Like every single thing can't have its own service for everything all the time. You have to have a business model that fits what you do. Not just like, oh, this is an industry I'm in. Let me copy the giants. Like, no. It's frustrating. Because who's next? You know what I mean? TBS, like the Turner Channel streamer, TBS, TNT, USA Network. Like, oh, great. Now I can watch Monk. It's like, awesome. That show's already available to watch. But you get my point. It's just like, where are we going to... The Sci-Fi streaming channel. It's like, no. What's ever been on this that anybody's ever watched and been, like, cared about? Maybe, I've watched some things on Sci-Fi. Can't front. It's just a disaster. Speaking of those streamers, I was like, all right, now that we are in December, as mentioned at the top, let's do it. Let's watch these Christmas movies, these new ones. They're trying to push. It's the time of year. And, Christmas movies to me are not like Christmas music where it's like, this is just awful. And I guess because like the music, the genre of the Christmas music is never what I would be listening to. Soft listening. Like gentle breezes. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear happy pianos and shit. Like, just not what I'm looking for. I don't want upbeat, get in the spirit. I don't have the spirit. I don't want the spirit. You know what I mean? Play Christmas in Harlem. I know we can't talk about Kanye anymore. And look, here's the thing. I have been asked by multiple people in person, like, your boy. It's like, yeah. But I mean, I've maintained the entire time, like, I don't give a fuck about people's personal lives. I like the art. Yeah, I get it. I get it. It's bad. But it's like, he's just a crazy guy on the train, just screaming crazy shit. And you know what you do to the crazy guy on the train? You ignore him. And then he doesn't stop, but doesn't affect you. And look, I get it too. You want to hit me with your dumb little quotes and sayings about how whatever, silence is violence. It isn't. Words are also not violence. That's still true. But old boy's done. What can you say? When you don't take medication for your mental illness for many years on end, this is where it goes. So, not the best. Very sad time, frankly. I'm very, very unhappy. Not great to watch people fall. I find it interesting the amount of people that are criticizing him, like you should take him seriously in any way, like he's doing this of sound mind. Like I saw a thing from Howard Stern today that was like, I guess he's not aware that he's black. And it's like, I guess you're not aware that you're not, maybe you shouldn't tell black people what they should be interested in. Now I get it. Again, when the thing you're discussing is Nazis, there's not a winning argument in the man's favor. I just have arguments around how certain people are deciding to say things about it. And look, ultimately, why is this still being published and like major newsed? Isn't the whole thing like, so you can kick him off Twitter and Instagram and everybody's like, yes, that's a victory, which, again, it was justified. But then you're like, oh, we're a major publication. Let's get all of this information to everybody and let's spread these words even more. It's like, just because you write it in an article where you're condemning it, you're still publishing and like massive, like, you know what I mean? You just want to make money off the guy still. But if you were really about what you're saying you're about, in like not letting this type of shit go on, which it shouldn't, you shouldn't then make it a major headline and put it to the top of everyone's news. You know, the guy's fucking on InfoWars to begin with, aka 99% of people would not have seen it or even known that it happened. So that's just that. I'm also just very upset at the overall situation. So just thought I'd get that out there. Anyway, back to the Christmas movies that I was trying to discuss before you interrupted me. I gotta say, it's looking bleak. Not that this is a thing that's like rich with substance, the Christmas movie. It's just like when there's a great one, it's a great one forever. And the reasoning for that is really just it's a great movie. You know what I mean? Like, when people talk about I mean, I don't want to get into is it not, because now that has become just a snake eating its own tail, where, I don't know, 10 years ago it was like a fun, valid thing, and now every year it's just a Christmas tradition to debate what is and isn't a Christmas movie, and for whatever reasons, shut up with that now. It's old. We get it. Some things kind of are and some things kind of aren't, and you can make an argument either way. So it'll never end, and who cares? Okay. But like for me anyway, A Christmas Story is always number one, like by a million miles. But I think that that's just a great movie. Do I necessarily want to watch it at any other time of year? I suppose not. I suppose not. So then they're like, all right, we're doing a sequel. And there had been, I vaguely remember, like a direct-to-DVD bullshit sequel. Never bothered. Never tried. Just shook my head. But now this one, they're like, oh, we got the original cast. Like, everybody. And immediately, it's like, I don't think you guys understand the appeal of the original movie. And for there to be a sequel, I get having Ralphie, the main kid. But as far as everyone else goes, especially seeing how they did not grow into anyone you would recognize, like nobody was famous, became famous, there's no nostalgia factor. In fact, a couple of the guys just look terrible. I mean, even in Halloween Kills, I keep referencing this movie. It'll haunt me for the rest of my life. They did that and could have fooled me. Like when it's somebody who didn't... Like Jamie Lee Curtis became Jamie Lee Curtis. And you know Jamie Lee Curtis. But it's like, oh, we're going to bring back her friend. It's like, all right. Like, that's a fun nugget. Not a selling point. I don't think that they made it a selling point. But in this movie, which is called A Christmas Story Christmas, I mean, can we put 5 minutes of thought and effort into naming the fucking movie? Are you serious? I mean, I guess you are giving everyone a fair warning on the quality of what they're about to see based on how fucking shitty and lazy the titling of this thing is. But, like, I don't give a fuck that the little New York accent kid's now a fat guy or however it worked out. One of them's fat. But, like, I'm not interested. It's not the key thing here. Anyway, it was awful. It lost my full attention in about 15 minutes and got shut off about 25 minutes after that. It was unwatchable. They tried to follow the reboot formula, which is everybody from the old movies in it, but there's a whole new cast and there's a whole new gang of adventures, and he's the dad now. What's he gonna do? We get it. It's been done. The reboot's now dead too, because everybody's doing it the same way. I've talked about this many times too, but it just keeps happening. Keep going back to Creed. It ruined everything. Creed and Iron Man are the foundation of destroying American cinema. And both were, received well. I didn't like Iron Man personally, but those were like good original movies. And now it's just carbon copy after carbon copy. And again, it doesn't apply to a niche holiday movie that stood the test of time but has no famous actors in it. Like, because again, even with Creed, fucking Rocky's in it. There's no Rocky in A Christmas Story. It should be just the kid, and then you could have had all the same characters. They all could have stayed friends, but maybe they could have turned into like John Hamm or something. Everybody loves John Hamm. He's in everything. Could we not get John Hamm for 20 minutes? You know what I mean? It's just like, why? Why the same cast? Oh, so all these ugly old dudes that nobody recognizes are in this terrible movie? There's nothing redeeming about it. I don't know how it ends. I don't really care. I will say the production quality is that of a real movie. Like, it looks like a real movie. Whoever was involved, you did a good job. But it's just lifeless. It's like, yeah, we're going to reference as much as possible, and we'll basically try to make the same movie again. But it's like, if I want the nostalgia of A Christmas Story, I'll just watch A Christmas Story because it's a timeless Christmas film. I don't know. I also didn't pay attention to the setting at all. Like, is it set in the 80s? Because it would have to be. Because the original is like set in the 50s, I think. Didn't pay attention to that at all. In my head, there's a chance it's set in present day, but that seems impossible that they would miss that. So, but I just want to throw that nugget out there, because if they did miss that, oh boy, is that bad. Just seems very unlikely. But you never know. You never know. I remember some TikTok girl. She's in some TikTok Netflix movie. And there's a scene of her walking down the street holding a bunch of flyers. And then there's like a cut, and she's just like mime holding the flyers. Did I say flowers? I don't know. Flyers. A stack of paper. And then it, like, there's a little transition cut or whatever. And then she's mime holding them. Mime holding them. And they put it in. Oversight. Come on. It can happen. Is all I'm saying. So that was a dud. That was a dud. It's why I like the outsider Christmas options. Same with the music. There's like, oh, put on the LCD Sound System Christmas song. Put on the Julian Casablancas Christmas song. I need to put together a Christmas album, like a perfect one, on a playlist of the like dozen good Christmas songs ever made. Anyway, I think I did this rant last year, probably the year before. Here's the thing. I'm going to be a snake eating its tail. I'm going to be redundant, and I'm going to do the same debates about the debates that I don't want to happen, and it's all going to double down and cycle back into itself and be a fucking nightmare. Okay? So next year, I'll do the same thing because everybody else is going to do the same thing, and I'm not original, okay? I don't... If you came to this for some kind of creative thought, you came to the wrong place, okay? I'm a regurgitator. Let me puke all over that pussy, baby. Ugh. I don't know what that was. Anyway. That was not me talking to Lindsay Lohan, however. The other Christmas movie I attempted to watch is whatever the fuck the new Lindsay Lohan movie is called. Couldn't even tell you. It's called like Red Christmas or something. And boy, oh boy, much worse. Much worse. Now, almost equal though, because it's not trying to be a sequel to something good. You know, thankfully Lindsay Lohan didn't make like a Christmas movie as a child that became very popular that they were going to try to do this to. This is just a Lifetime quality, Hallmark quality Christmas movie they put on Netflix. And it's Lindsay Lohan's comeback. It's a safe, family, G-rated movie, even if it's rated something else. It's G. There's a scene at the beginning where this guy's like doing the like, oh, I'm trying not to spill my coffee, but everything keeps getting in my way. In which he does like somersaults, not literally, but he does like backflips and just he does crazy maneuvers in which your paper coffee with a paper lid are spilling. Like either way, the lid has an opening. Like there was just nothing about the maneuvers that he did where zero coffee could come out, like physically possibly, but it does. And then he spills it like on accident at the last second. And I'm like, I'm fucking done with this. Because it's also set up to be like the way that he's going to meet Lindsay Lohan. And then they meet by her falling down a mountain. Anyway. The premise is basically her daddy's a ski resort owner and he's like a bottom of the hill ski resort owner. Like it's just stupid, and she's dating an influencer who's a dumb guy, and the young guy, he tries to prove himself, and you know, it's the whole thing. I'll never be accepted by the wealthy family. Listen, I just don't think, as a guy who has never been in a scenario where I'm dating Kim Kardashian or whatever the wealthy lady equivalent would be in modern times, I don't imagine. Here's the hard to put this into words. I don't think you would be that ignorant to someone. Like the guy's supposed to be famous, but the dad's like a Billy guy. You wouldn't, it doesn't matter who you are. I just don't imagine you would be super ignorant like that. Like that there would be so much disrespect shown. But I also don't imagine being like the kiss ass guy. I don't know. I feel like I'd roll in there and I'd be like, hello, sir. Goodbye. Like, I just want to get the fuck out of there. Anyway, I don't know what my point is. It's an unrealistic portrayal of what it would be like to date a wealthy man's daughter, is all I'm saying. Not that anything in this movie bodes anything of realism. Bodes? Is that right? I don't know. Doesn't resemble reality. I don't think it's supposed to, but that lighthearted, like, oh, this is a cupcake with extra sugar, I hate it. The tone is brutal. Just this, again, that cheery, well, it's Christmas. Like, oh, I want to throw up. All I have to say is that Lindsay Lohan, I hope she's back. I hope it lasts. You know, whatever happened, yikes. Poor girl. She was fantastic, though. I loved Lindsay Lohan as a little girl myself. And the material that they're working with is horrid, but she is outshining everyone in every scene. She's the only one who's doing anything that I would consider to be acting. Like, she's the only person playing a character. Everybody else in that movie's on an SNL sketch. You know, it's typical what you'd expect of something like that. But she is actually doing something. So that's the one positive I'll net out of it. Lindsay's back. And there's already talks about her and Jamie Lee Curtis doing Freaky Friday 2. Wouldn't be opposed. Would not be opposed. Now, if that were like switched up a little bit, maybe it weren't so Disney-fied, that would be ideal, but what can you do about that? I'm sure nothing. I just really love The Parent Trap. I gotta say. It's great. I've watched it again since, too. Like, it holds up. That kid could act. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be a parallel universe where, like, Lindsay Lohan and Leonardo DiCaprio are, like, the most powerful couple in the world. That would be fun. Credit to Leo. You know? Didn't do too much cocaine and made it. Fucking love that guy. What a pro. Since he was 12. Kids have been clean. It's good stuff. So yeah. What's coming out? Because I gotta have at least one real Christmas movie analysis. But this ain't it. This ain't it. First two attempts went as poorly as anything could go. Just why would you make the Christmas Story movie? Like, for example, last year, you can go check the tape. There's an episode about 8-Bit Christmas, which was bad, but so much better than either of these movies, it could win an Oscar if those were somehow the only 3 movies up. Like, it would destroy in comparison. They tried to do something, and it wasn't good, but they tried. Can people try? That's what I want. I just want efforts. Because that's the thing. Every movie can't be good, and I'm aware of that. But everybody should try to make something entertaining. I don't know. I just think it's pretty crazy how little things I'm the audience for. You know what I mean? At some point, there has to be a ton of people that agree with me. It's not looking good so far, though, I gotta tell you. I won't hold my breath. I'll tell you that. Anyway, that's it for this week. Hopefully I'll actually get some fucking things in to watch. The plan is White Lotus Season 2 in full next week. Don't hold me to it. Check out all the links, check out the link in the description below that takes you to all the links of the many things we are creating here. There's music, more podcast episodes, merch, more music, another podcast, art, other stuff. There's lots of stuff linked in the description below. rfat.bigcartel.com. You can follow me on Instagram at adam.rfat, RFAT, baby. And what else? That's it. Check out the music. All I want for Christmas is streams and downloads, baby. Rate, review, and subscribe to Requiem for a Tuesday. And it's the greatest gift I could ever ask for. Hopefully I will have a lack of congestion. Not just for me, but for you as well, the listener. We appreciate you. All right. I'm just stalling. Anyway, catch you next time. It's been a pleasure. And remember, I are fat. You are fat. We RFAT. Calculator, baby.